If you're watching this video, your exam is probably in less than like 2-3 months now, and you're feeling one of these emotions. You're either feeling super scared because you haven't finished your syllabus yet, or you're feeling literally numb because you've been studying for long hours and you cannot feel the fear anymore. Now, I was in the same state as you 2 years back, and when I was going through my Snapchat history, I literally just came across this video where I was sharing and expressing my feelings of upcoming exams, and I realized that I was so anxious and like fearful of what was going to happen in the exam and all that. And looking back at that right now, I just thought I'd make this small video where I compile all of my thoughts, all of my like learnings from those exam days, and like share last minute tips with you guys. Here's what I'm not going to be doing today. I'm not going to ask you to study smarter or to stay positive and all that generic stuff, but what I am going to be sharing are strategies which a lot of students neglect. I neglected in like the last few months before exam. These things have nothing to do with how much you study, but everything to do with the right mindset and with the kind of composure you should have before an exam. Also, before starting, I just want to tell that I am no pro in handling like exam stress, because even right now when I give like engineering exam, I panic a lot. Like, you can ask my friends, I literally before the exam I'm like studying like this. So I am no one to ask you to keep your calm right before an exam, but these are just things that I wish I would have followed before the competitive exams. And even now I keep reminding myself to like follow those tips, because it actually does make a difference. Okay, strategy 1, it's called the failure rehearsal. So I want you to imagine the situation that you did not reach your desired rank, or you did not get something that you aimed for. Okay, just take 2 minutes and think about it. Would life actually end? No. The answer is a clear no. There are alternative paths. There's next year. There are other colleges. Well, look, I'm not trying to tell you to be a pessimist and be like, oh, I'm not going to study harder because like even if I fail, I have like backup options. That is not the mentality I'm asking you to keep. But what I'm trying to say is that often our brain is so occupied with what if we disappoint ourselves, what if we disappoint our parents, what if we disappoint the teacher who spent and invested so much time so that we could end up in a good college, and that take up so much brain space that you'll actually stop studying and digesting anything that you've studied. So stop thinking about the result. Stop thinking so much about what if you fail, what if you succeed. Just stop it. Just give your best right now, especially right before exam. Just focus on studying and like actively understanding what you're doing. That fear that you have inside you is paralyzing you. You study worse, you sleep worse, you think worse. And just practicing this mechanism where you just sit with yourself and think about the possibilities that could go wrong, and you actually tell yourself that life's not going to end if I don't reach that particular goal, but that does not mean that I don't give my best right now. Don't occupy your headspace with so much of overthinking for the future. Okay, whatever is going to happen will happen. You cannot control it. So might as well just give your best in what you can. Okay, so the second strategy is the 3-person rule. Right now, identify 3 people's opinions which actually matter. They can be your parents, a close friend, a mentor, a teacher, anybody. 3 people, that's it. Your classmates, your relatives asking about your prep, your apartment aunties and uncles, or anybody else for that matter, someone online. Literally does not matter. Their opinions don't matter. What they comment about your preparation and whatever they ask you does not matter. That doesn't mean you like straight up ignore them and don't talk to them. Just like answer with like a very diplomatic face, and just don't let their opinions sink in you. Only discuss your exam stress, your doubts, your fears with these 3 people. It's because most people project their own anxiety to you. Especially in the last few months, you'd see a bunch of people just asking you, like, you should be doing this, like, this should be your routine, like, why are you doing otherwise? So just be immune to all of those, like, external noise and just take in advice from these 3 people that you actually trust. Strategy number 3 is the minimum viable score. Now, this one's personally something that I never did, but one of my friends, he actually did it a lot during our preparation. Because, you know, this like whole calculating the amount of marks you need to get into a certain college, the cutoff and everything was just something that I was not interested in. Like, I was never in for the fact of like writing an exam just to get certain amount of marks and then ending up in a college. I was really not in for that. But the thing is, when you're preparing for a competitive exam like this, you need to calculate the minimum marks that you need for a particular college, minimum viable score that you can get to get that particular stream and all. So this tip is actually very important from my perspective, because if you want to get into good college, you need to know how much marks you need and prepare accordingly. So here's what you do research, look up for colleges which you actually wouldn't mind getting into. That does not mean the absolute top. Like, you have to look at your capabilities and realistically choose a goal. Okay,
Look, everybody starts aiming for the best and everybody does not work equally hard. It will actually lead to a mass like a rat
yes, which you guys already know. Like, you literally aim for something and you don't work towards it the way you want to, or maybe even if you work towards it, maybe sometimes luck just doesn't favor you. So look at your capabilities, look at where you can actually end up practically, look at the amount of marks you need to get into that college or the stream that you want, and once you have that number, reverse engineer it. How many questions can you skip, how many questions are you supposed to do, the weightage of each chapter, and you just have to play with the statistics a lot. Competitive exams, believe me, is just a game of numbers, and if you are good at it, you somehow crack the code. So strategy 4 is the dopamine detox light. No, I'm not asking you to delete any of your favorite social media app. That can be anything for that matter. Here's what you need to do. You need to curate your feed accordingly. Okay, delete all of those last minute JEE meme pages, those like rank predictor discussions and everything. Just totally stay away from all that, because it's understandable if you watch all that like 6 months before your exam, but when your exam's right around the corner, if you end up watching things like that, it's really going to affect the way you think and the way you actually process information, and it's really going to affect you in a bad way. Like, you know best what affects you negatively, and you have to curate your feed accordingly. If you're not good at curating feed, then you can just go ahead and delete it. For me personally, I didn't delete it, but I was never really active on any of the social media apps except for YouTube, where I would just come in my break times to just watch things that actually gave me happiness. I was really not attached to my phone. Okay, strategy 5 is the scoreboard flip. Stop tracking chapters remaining and start tracking the chapters and marks secured. Instead of thinking,
oh no, my organic chemistry spending, I have electromagnetism left, I have integral calculus
make a spreadsheet that looks like this: topic column, your current accuracy percentage, and the marks you can secure. These 3 columns you need to make, and then you actually have to go and fill it in religiously. Let me give you an example. Say you have organic chemistry and there's 60 marks available, and you've covered about 70% of it. Your accuracy on practice problem is around 75%.
That means you can reasonably expect a 0.7 into a 0.75 into a 60. That's about 31 to 32 marks.
Organic chemistry, 32 marks secured. Do this for every single subject. It's a little time taking, but believe me, once you do that, you'll have a clear clarity on every single topic. And now your thinking actually shifts to, oh, I haven't done organic chemistry, or oh, I have done only half of organic chemistry, to actually thinking, oh, I can secure 32 marks out of 60, and that's not half bad. Strategy 6, the 30-second rule. Grab your formula sheet or anywhere that you've written all the important concepts in. No, actually go grab it. Okay, so now pick any formula, any theorem, any topic, and I actually want you to talk about that topic non-stop for 30 seconds. Now, if you're fumbling and if you're telling things like all of that, that means you are not clear with the understanding of that particular topic. You don't actually understand it, you have just memorized it, and there is a massive difference. Believe me, memorized knowledge will evaporate under pressure. This is something that I've learned after writing so many exams. This knowledge that you've acquired is totally either from just memorizing or reading the lines repeatedly, and that's like literally renting knowledge, and the lease is literally going to expire in the exam hall when you're under pressure. Look, again, contradiction, you cannot understand every single thing in your syllabus, impossible. But when you're going through the formulas or when you're going through like the theorems in your last minute prep list, you should at least know the concept behind it, and you should understand that, when you've learned it for the first time, you should go deep into that topic and understand where it's coming from and really just understand the mechanism of how it works. Don't just like blindly memorize it. So this 30-second rule will actually help you. So every single time you fumble or stop or get stuck somewhere, go back to that topic, try to understand it once more. You have YouTube, you have tutorials, you have literally everything which can explain you the meaning and the science behind it. So just make sure that you're clear with everything. Strategy 7, the peak time audit. So when do you focus the best? Is it early in the morning or late in the nights or in the silent afternoons? And most students honestly don't think about this. They study at random times and finally end up thinking why they felt foggy during the exam. So here's what you need to do. For the next 3 days, track yourself. When do you solve problems faster? When does your brain feel sharper? When do you get the understanding of a certain question quickly? So say your exam is at 9 a.m. but your brain peaks at 8 p.m. You have to start training it to work the same way at 9 a.m. Don't be all groggy and cranky at 9 a.m. because that's when your exam is. So start taking mock test at the exact same time when your exam is scheduled. It's going to be hard for some time in the beginning, but when you get a practice of it, things become way easier, and believe me, it helps you so much on your actual exam day. Okay, so the last tip for this video is going to be the exam simulator week. Here's what most students do. They take mock tests and practice exams in like super comfortable positions, like with the AC on, obviously not right now because it's winters, but with a comfortable chair, everything set, super ready, and they're like in comfy clothes and everything, and they start writing their exam. But the reality of the situation is that you really don't know what can go wrong with you on the exam day. For example, in my JEE mains first attempt, I got this like chair which was extremely low, and I couldn't help it because I actually called the invigilator and he said I can't do anything last minute. And that's how it's going to be. You are going to have exams in places that you haven't imagined. You train your brain be able to focus in uncomfortable environments, because again, I think in another exam there was this fan which was right on top of my head and it was making such weird noises, and I wasn't really able to concentrate on my paper because I did not practice to write an exam in uncomfortable situations. So it might sound weird right now, but make sure to practice some mock tests. Open the door, maybe let the noise of the house actually disturb you, and try to concentrate in that environment. So don't do that all the time. I'm just asking you to do it right before, like 2-3 weeks before your exam, because you need to prepare yourself for every single situation. So yeah, these were a few strategies which I wanted to share, and I wouldn't call these study tips, but more of what I would call as performance strategies, because right now it's really not about how much you know, and it's more about how well you execute what you know. You've been preparing for months now, so don't let the stress and anxiety of these last few weeks just ruin all of that. You've really got this. It does not matter if you're perfect. You're good enough, and good enough is what matters. If you've been showing up every single day, life will get you somewhere. I hope it helped. Now go turn off this video, go back to your schedule, routine, and yeah, avoid distractions as much as possible during these last few days, and just stay strong. Don't let anything degrade your self-esteem. I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.